Christmas Day NBA games are usually some of the best matchups in the entire season. I mean, just go back and look at previous years and see how many fun matchups there are. Like in 2019, when you had the LA Lakers versus the LA Clippers, which not only was huge because it's the LA rivalry, but also because this was the start of what people thought was going to be the biggest LA rivalry of all time. With the Clippers getting their new franchise duo in Paul George and Kawhi Leonard, and then the Lakers getting Anthony Davis. I mean, this was a crazy matchup. This was a game that if you didn't have it on while opening gifts or eating breakfast, where were you? What? You missed out. You missed out. Now, in that example, the NBA used a rivalry to hype up their matchup, right? It's a LA versus LA rivalry. And in 2016, they did one of the biggest rivalries of all time. For sure, the biggest rivalry in the 2010s decade, and that's the Cavaliers versus Warriors. Now, I understand that these two teams have gone up against each other in Christmas games like 3 times, but in my opinion, the 2016 matchup was my favorite Christmas game of all time. This was the year where LeBron and Kyrie took the Cavaliers back from a 3-1 deficit in the finals against one of the best teams in the entire league. Not only at that time, but of all time, one of the best teams. And for the game to be as close as it was and Kyrie to make that last second game-winning shot, crazy. Just an insane game. You want to know what else made that game better? The Christmas jerseys. They were freaking amazing. Now, Christmas jerseys are a big thing for NBA fans because some people think it makes the game even more special and other people don't really care. They just want to see the matchups. Now, for me, I'm one where if a team is wearing a special jersey for a game, like going back to the old finals matchups where they had the little championship trophy on the like, I love that shit so much. So seeing the NBA stop in 2016 with doing the Christmas jerseys was really upsetting. And at first I was like, okay, why did the NBA do this? You know, oh, that's so sad. But then you realize it's because Adidas's contract with the NBA actually expired and Nike took over. So yeah, now it's Nike's fault. Nike, bring back the Christmas jerseys, man. That's actually sad. Just look at these jerseys. Tell me that these jerseys are amazing. Now, I know the sleeved ones get a lot of hate, okay? And I mean, I think they're not that bad. I ain't gonna lie. I just feel like having a Christmas themed jersey makes the game 10 times more special. I enjoy it. Now, trust me, we are going to get into this year's NBA Christmas Day matchups, but for now, I need to talk about the commercials because commercials are another huge factor into the Christmas games because when it's mid/early December and you're sitting there watching the Pacers versus Pelicans and all of a sudden you see them talking about Christmas Day games, it hypes you up. It's the most exciting thing ever. It's more exciting than the playoffs. Okay, maybe that's going a little bit too far, but sometimes it is. But once again, it feels like after 2016, the NBA has kind of stopped putting in effort in their commercials, or at least stopped making them as good as they once were. Right now, I'm showing you some clips from old Christmas NBA commercials. And if you look at this, you really just get festive vibes, right? You get excited. You see those players in their festive uniforms. They look excited to play on Christmas Day. It looks really good, right? Now, compare it to today's commercials. What do you see in this commercial that's different? Okay, I'll have it up here for a minute. The amount of actual players appearing in the commercial is so slim. I mean, if you look at this year's commercial alone, there's only one current player that's in the commercial, and that's Devin Booker. And he's eating popcorn and says one line.
Yo, that fit is fire.
I don't want to be like writing only off nostalgia and say like, oh, that was the golden era. I don't know. I don't know. I don't like it. I don't like it. Now time to get into the main point of the video, the 2022 to 2023 NBA Christmas matchups. So I'm going to go through every matchup and tell you whether they're good or bad. And if they're bad, I'm actually going to go through and fix them and maybe add some new teams. I don't know. Maybe we'll see. Starting off with the 76ers versus the Knicks. Now I see why they made this game the earliest game on the schedule. It's because they want everyone to sleep through this boring ass garbage and then open up gifts later when a good game comes on. Seriously though, besides the fact that this is like the most matched up team on Christmas Day, what is really like a good story behind this game? The Knicks are an okay team. I understand it's New York. That's exciting. And like the 76ers, like I guess, you know, like, I mean, they're a good team. They're a playoff team, maybe a finals team. I don't know. It's a boring matchup. So in the King Charge Christmas schedule, which by the way, yes, that's what I'm calling it, I'm going to swap out the 76ers with the Brooklyn Nets. Now there's 2 reasons for this. One, you get to see Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving play on Christmas Day, which, you know, some of the best players in the league. And I understand that, you know, you could see Joel Embiid and James Harden instead, but no one wants to watch those free throw merchants. So you get to see KD and Kyrie. And at the same time, you have a battle of New York, right? You have your 2 New York teams going head to head. I think it could be a fun game. I would be interested. I'd watch it. I'd wake up early. I'd watch it. You know, I don't see a problem with it. So yeah, that's the first one I changed. Now, next up is Lakers versus Mavericks. Now, I'm going to be as nice as I can when it comes to this matchup. What the actual fuck are the Lakers Spurs doing getting Christmas game? What have they accomplished this year to get a Christmas game? Or even last year, what have they done? They have been absolute bum. They've been butt. I don't get it. I don't know the last time a 12th seed got a Christmas game. I really don't know. And with the record as bad as last year, they got the Christmas game too, because last year has a big effect onto this year's Christmas games, right? Let's all make that clear. And even with last year's terrible record, they still get a Christmas game. Crazy. But I understand it's LeBron, it's LA, it's a big market, blah, blah, blah. Now, I do love the idea of the Mavericks playing on Christmas. I think Luka, dropping a crazy game on Christmas, it's a great memory to have. I love it. I love the Mavericks being here. But you know what? I'm going to switch it up a little bit. I'm going to remove the Mavericks from this matchup and replace them with the Cleveland Cavaliers. Mavericks fans, before you click off this video and leave a hate comment, I am going to get back to you guys, okay? Relax. But Cavaliers versus Lakers, right? You have Cleveland, an up-and-coming young team, Donovan Mitchell, all these great players who I think deserve a spot in this big stage. Going against the Lakers, LeBron, homecoming game. I think it fits well. I think it's a good matchup. Next up on the schedule is Bucks versus Celtics. This is a must-see matchup. This is like a matchup where if you don't watch this during breakfast or whatever the fuck, I don't know what time it's on at, you are missing out. Like, you are genuinely missing out on one of the best matchups in the league. Not only are these two teams the top two teams in the East and probably going to be Eastern Conference Finals matchups, but also maybe two of the best teams in the entire league. Like, with no conferences, I see these two teams in the finals, if that was even possible. And you also have the top two MVP candidates in Giannis and Tatum. It's just all like, it's going to be so competitive. I cannot wait. But unfortunately, I would like to replace the Bucks with the Sacramento Kings because they're just a way better team. I'm just kidding. I would keep this exact game on the King Charge Christmas schedule. Next up is Grizzlies versus Warriors. Now, I'm sure a lot of you guys remember last year during the playoffs when John Moran, Draymond Green were like, we got to run it back for Christmas, bro. We got to run it back. And like, that was a big thing. Everyone was all excited. Well, looking at it now, it's not going to be fun at all. Steph Curry is injured. The Warriors have been absolute dog shit, and it's just not going to even be a fun matchup. It's actually really depressing. And this will be the Grizzlies' first time having a Christmas game, which is really cool. Happy for them. It's going to be really boring to see the Warriors play. Okay, so in my King Charge Christmas schedule, we're dropping the Warriors. Cut them out. They're done. Instead, we will be replacing them with the New Orleans Pelicans, who I cannot believe didn't get a spot in the Christmas schedule. Not only are the Pelicans one of the best up-and-coming teams, but you also have Zion, who is like not only great for like marketing and getting you money as a league. In case you're watching this, Adam Silver, he's a great moneymaker, but it's also the top two picks in the 2019 draft going head-to-head. Two young, up-and-coming rising teams, two top draft prospects. Like, how does it get any better than this? Now, this would be very controversial because the last time a defending NBA champion didn't play in a Christmas game was 2007 with the San Antonio Spurs. But in my opinion, I would rather watch the Houston Rockets play this game instead of the Golden State Warriors. So that's just me. So yeah, in my schedule, Pelicans versus Grizzlies, lock it in. And the last game on Christmas Day, the game that you're eating dinner, you're hanging out, my family, we play bingo. That's just, I don't know. It's Suns versus Nuggets. Now, this is another one of those matchups that I find to be really fucking boring. Like, I guess it's two good teams, but like, what is a backstory here? What am I looking at? What am I like, ooh, this team needs to win, or this team has a chip on their shoulder. Like, this doesn't really give me any oomph. I just go, this is a regular matchup I'd see on TNT on a February 2nd. Like, this is nothing crazy. So you know what? I'm sorry, Nuggets fans. I'm kicking you guys out of this one, and I'm replacing them with the Dallas Mavericks. That's right. We're moving them from the Lakers game, and we're putting them back up against the Suns. And if it isn't already obvious enough as to why I'm moving them onto here, it's because of the playoffs last year. Or not last year. That's like 2 years ago, right? There was a crazy playoff series between Booker and Luka and the Suns, and it was a crazy playoff matchup, and I think it'd be a lot of fun to see them have that rematch, even though it's already been like 2 years. It's still a very competitive like rivalry, I guess you could say. And NBA fans, eat this shit up. Like, I would fucking crave a Booker versus Luka rematch on Christmas Day. I like, you would not even believe. So what schedule would you guys rather watch? The official NBA Christmas Day schedule, snooze fest, or the King Charge Christmas special schedule? I meant schedule, not special. Let me know in the comments below, and if you're interested in how the Sacramento Kings are doing this year, click the video up on the screen right now. I promise you guys, it's actually a good video. Okay, I promise.